You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. And it's an interesting day. So, I got to tell you, first of all, I forgot to get me some water. So, I got to run out to my car and get my big Starbucks cup because I got one of those clear ones I have to use. Yeah. So, I have a confession to make. You know, it's always more personal stuff, right? My refrigerator died. It was a while ago. It was just a while ago. Yeah, first it's the fence, now it's the refrigerator, right? So the refrigerator died, and it took a month to get a new one. Remember back in the day when you could order something and they would deliver it the next day and you were without something for like a couple of days? We now have Amazon. I wonder, can I get a refrigerator on Amazon and get it within 2 days? Can I get Amazon Prime and get it? I never thought of it. Anyway, I digress. So it took a month to get a new one. Now, granted, I was teaching, but who had to stay at home, right? Well, I got to go to work, so you're the one with the flexible schedule, so you can stay at home. Right. That's a generic wife voice, right? So I sat at home and they gave you the what? I said I'll be there between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I sat at home? And so you know what happens, right? You leave home at 10 o'clock, they show up at 10:05. But if you stay home till 1:30, they show up at 1:45. Like it's never at the right time. So I sit around at about 1:30. Beep. Hey, we'll be there in 10 minutes. Thank you. 10 minutes later, they get there. And I say, hey, it's in the kitchen. So did you want to go pull to the back and then roll it in? Because it's all straight and you only got to come up like 3 or 4 steps. Oh, no, we'll bring it up the front. I said, okay. So now if you bring it up the front, you got 3 steps in the front from the curb. Then you got the sidewalk. Then you got to bring it up another 5 or 6 steps to the porch. Then you got to bring it up another step into the house, right? If you go to the back, you go up literally 5 steps. 1 into the house, 4 steps to the next floor. Done. Bada bing, bada boom. No, we'll take it in the front. Okay. So now they're out there and they're putting their padding around it and taking all the stuff and doing all whatever they do when they move stuff. You know, put straps on it and all that. And as they're rolling it up with the dolly, I look at the guy and I'm watching it and the dolly is too small. You're talking about a 2-door refrigerator and the dolly's too small. So I see it start to move from side to side, right? It starts to bump. And I'm thinking to myself, this thing gonna fall. Sure enough, the guy slips walking up the hill on the grass and boom, refrigerator hits the ground. Now it's one of those side-by-side refrigerator freezers that goes in the kitchen. And so I'm sitting there waiting and I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I was in the front window watching this. And when they did it, I saw the guy turn around and look in the window and I stepped back from the window so he wouldn't see me. And so they bring it into my house and they set it up. You know, you got the water line and the freezer and you got the ice and all that stuff. So they got to hook up all the water and all that, the filters and all that. During this time, while they're setting it up, I call my wife. I say, hey, just so you know, they don't know. If they didn't say anything about it, they don't know that I saw them drop the refrigerator. And I ask her, what do you want to do? And I get well, we've been waiting for, like 4 weeks and we've been waiting a month. And just take it. So what did I do? Against my better judgment, I took it. And it was fine. for about a month. And then I'm up late one night and I'm going to get something and I hear the, and I'm like, what is that? And I realize it's the refrigerator. There's something wrong with the refrigerator. Next time I hear the refrigerator's making another different weird, I'm like, okay, what's going on with the refrigerator? Now it works, it freezes, you get water, you get ice cubes, it keeps things cold, the temperature set, the filter works, right? I knew I should have sent that thing back. But then there's today. Today I got a freezer. And they take it off the truck. Now, these are young guys, right? It's like 4 Hispanic guys and 1 black guy who's a supervisor. And they come in, and we're just watching people. We're checking them, making sure that they do the job right. I'm from the warehouse, but they're contractors, and I'm just making sure they do stuff right. And blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, man. Take it off the truck. Guy unwraps it, looks at it, and says, we need to inspect this. Not I need to or you need. He said, we need to inspect this before it goes into the house, before we put it in there. And so I look at it, and he looks at it and goes, oh, by the way, you have a dent in the back. And I go, okay. Oh, wait a minute. You got a dent in the door, at the door handle. And I'm thinking to myself, I go back to the refrigerator. Right. But then he said something that was interesting. He said, you can get money off for the dent, or we just deliver you a new one. And I was like, so I don't know what you mean. Are you going to take this one? He said, no, we'll leave this. We'll put in an order for a new one. When the new one comes, we'll come back and swap it out. After they already removed the refrigerator that I already had in the house. Now I paid $40 for it. $40 to remove an old freezer, to put in the new freezer. And so I'm thinking to myself, Self said, Self said, how much money? And he said, you know what? I wouldn't take anything less than $75. It's a dent. I'm thinking to myself, my refrigerator's sitting in the basement in a room. Well, ain't nobody going to be looking at it until you go downstairs and go to the freezer. Do I really care that there's a dent on it? But who didn't I call? Right. Hey, there's a dent in the refrigerator door. And do you want to keep it? And I explain the whole, they'll just leave it and order a new one. And so I told them to order a new one. She was like, that's great. We'll just get the new one and then we'll have a new one. That'll be that, right? So then I go back outside, say, hey, dude's great. They'll order it. The guy looks at me, says, here on my phone so you can see, boop, I just ordered you a new one. They'll call you when it's coming in a couple of days before. You'll be here. Everything will be great. As I said, bada bing, bada boom. Everything's great. And then he says, and then I go, hey, that's great. Where's the paperwork? And he says, okay, here you go. Sign here. You need to sign at the top. And you need to sign at the bottom that you received it. And I sign at the top. The date is already printed in. I look at the bottom, and the bottom says, signing here means that you received it, and there was no damage to your home and no damage to the merchandise. I don't think so. I'm not signing this. I'll sign the top, but I ain't signing the bottom. And at that point, I thought, 833-212-1017 is the number. What do I do? Were they trying to slick me and have me sign and then never show up again? And when I go to call and say, where's my new one? They say, hey, well, you signed here and said there was no damage. Or was it just hey, everybody signs top and bottom? Do people even read what they sign? I'm one of those weirdos. I read what I sign. I'll hold up a line. I'll tell them I don't care. And at that moment right there, I had to make a decision. Which one should I do? Which one should I have done? 833-212-1017 is the number. I had to ask myself, do I take it or do I leave it?